Hello Dumaguete, hello Negros Oriental, and hello Sillimanians around the world. On behalf of Ronelyn Vailoces-No, this is Joshua Soldivillo and you're watching #Silliman. This is a magazine show that talks about different aspects of Silliman University, a program initiated to discuss different matters concerning the campus by the sea. You're watching #Silliman. Mayong gabi sa tanan, Sillimanians and friends of Silliman around the world. Thank you very much for making #Silliman as your Monday night company. And of course, it's another Monday. It means that we have to thank the Lord for another week. We are so excited. What are the things that we're going to accomplish this week? No? As they say, you have to count your blessings. Perhaps you have received good news today or yesterday or the previous weeks, or perhaps you have gained a new friend or a new partner in life. We have to be thankful to that. Well, speaking of partners and friends, here in Silliman University, we also extend our community not only to our faculty, staff, administrators, and students, and of course our alumni, but of course to other friends and partners as well. I'm talking about the U.S. Embassy, and they are particularly working with us through American Spaces Philippines, more particularly through American Corner Dumaguete. And to unpack the details, how we exactly work together, we have invited our friends from the Silliman University Library System, and I'm going to introduce them. Allow me to introduce first the American Corner Coordinator, Mrs. Relyn Tayko. Ma'am Relyn, welcome to #Silliman.
Thank you, Sir Josh, for having us tonight.
Okay. Of course, we are also joined by two other energetic librarians. We have Sir Elmark Gerasol. Sir Elmark, welcome to #Silliman.
Thank you, Sir Josh, for inviting us here.
All right. And we also have Miss Sharmaine Galapate. Ma'am Sharmaine, good evening.
Hello, good evening, Sir Josh, and thank you so much for giving us the opportunity to be one of your guests.
Okay, so let us begin. Before we go to our questions and we deep dive on the nitty-gritty of our interview, I'd like to congratulate first Sir Elmark for graduating and finishing his master's study. So congratulations, sir. So what did you finish?
Masters of Library and Information Science.
Wow, galing naman. Okay, congratulations. So we are very happy because you are joining us tonight. And of course, I think one of the most favorite spots of the library users when we had the library building then was actually the American Corner. Of course, not to mention the cooler air conditioning system of that corner in the library. But can you share to us exactly how does American Spaces work with Silliman University through American Corner Dumaguete, and of course the core objectives of establishing an American Corner here in Silliman?
Thank you for that question, Sir Josh. Actually, the existence of the American Corner here in Silliman University is very important really for the students, especially since this is an open access learning location or a space where we gather students, where they can have a discussion, where they can have a debate, a conversation regarding their projects or their plan for their studies. And we also provide effective programs following the 6 pillars of the American Spaces
Ayun,
Philippines.
may pa 6 pillars.
Yes,
Okay.
and one of that is the alumni engagements. We also have information about the US. We will not forget the English language teaching and
Yes.
learning, and also skill building. So I think the AC Dumaguete really gives a lasting impact to the students and also to the faculty members of the Silliman community, as well as to the people around the locality of Dumaguete City, because we do not only serve the Silliman community but
Right.
outside also.
Yeah. So I'm just curious, Ma'am Relyn, when you talk about the alumni creating connection, who are these alumni we're talking about?
These are called US Gov Fellows.
Okay.
And you are one of that as a YSEALI alum. So we also have members from the Fulbright Scholars
All right.
and the IVLP and the YSEALI.
And of course, other programs. No?
Yes.
And I think that's a very important way to forge partnerships, not only for the sake of putting that into paper, but actually gathering resources, expertise, and talents, if I may say. So right now, I understand that we are having a transformation with our physical building at the library. But what are the resources or facilities or instructional materials the American Corner usually provide or share to its users?
So American Corner, just like any other sections of the library, of course, basically we have the physical books. So what makes it different is it's because those books or resources focuses mainly on STEAM education, English, basic English or English learning, and then basically all about USA or the America. And then we also have, for those students who have a lack of free time before their next subject, we have a lot of educational board games. So
Ayun.
yes, for those who are also like mga groups, mga barkadas as we call it, no, so they can visit the American Corner and then play with those various games, educational
And this is for
board
free?
games. Yes, sir. For free, yun na siya ang American Corner. And of course, the very highlight of AC Dumaguete is what we call the e-Library USA. So it is a compilation or a number of databases put into one access or one portal. So those databases, we have the Press Reader, then the ProQuest, and what's the first one? Academic One file, and also the Canopy. These databases are for audiences who belongs in the middle schools and colleges, as well as mga graduate programs.
students.
So personally, sir, I like the ProQuest nga database. I would like to a way of informing everyone. No? So it's very good if you are doing your research papers and thesis and dissertations, because it's a compilation or a database for those related resources, mga dissertations and thesis.
But
So it's very
is this
useful.
only open to Sillimanians or?
This is open to the public.
Okay.
So Sillimanians, non-Sillimanians, they are free to use these databases.
So the e-Library USA, Ms. Sharmaine, is can this be accessed outside Silliman, or they have to visit American Corner Dumaguete and then you will help them to access these materials?
They can message the American Corner for the logged in, the username and password.
Okay. So this can be accessed remotely.
Yes,
right?
this can be accessed in Silliman and outside Silliman.
All right, that's a good thing, especially those who are making research or if not
Yes,
finishing their studies. No, I'm sure Sir Elmark has availed of these materials. All right.
Suki.
Okay. So let's go now to the activities or programs that you usually sponsor or if not lead. At the same time, if there are partners or other organizations you're working with, maybe we can also talk about that. Would be the yes.
For the programs and activities of ACES, for the past recent years, we have two massive open online course. The first one is the Community Organizing for Action through YSEALI Learns, of course, with partnership with the project STEMify. And of course, the massive open online course for COVID-19 Ambassadors Training Program. We also have Education USA and YSEALI.
Okay, I'm interested to learn about the COVID-19 vaccine ambassadors training.
Yes.
So can you share more of this, Sir Elmark?
The COVID-19 Ambassadors Training, this is in partnership with Johns Hopkins University, where they...
Johns Hopkins.
Yes,
No?
where the purpose of this is to encourage our parents to have their children vaccinated.
Ayun. Of course, this is very aligned and in time, no, for the height of the pandemic.
Yes, sir.
Okay, that's good. And you also mentioned about Education USA, sir?
Yes, I think Ma'am Relyn can more elaborate on
Yes.
that.
Well, one of the services or the program of the American Corner is we also facilitate in the application of the Education USA.
Oh,
So
I see.
what we have
Wow.
there is in Dumaguete City, we don't really have an advising center, but we have in Cebu and in Manila. So what we can do is we can facilitate through collaboration with the U.S. Embassy, call their office, and if there will be individuals who would like to
Study in the United States.
inquire or study,
alright.
so we can have a virtual discussion about the 5 steps to study in the U.S.
Wow. So that's so wonderful. So, for example, I am curious about which university I can study in the United States. Then I can refer to the American Corner Dumaguete, right? Is that
Yes, the procedure really is it's not that what university you would like to choose if you want to enroll, but they can suggest, the Education USA team can suggest what university fits to your interest or to
Okay.
your budget also.
all right? So at least that's actually a very good help because
Yes.
in case if you're already there, then you are sure what you're really getting into. Wonderful. So I'm sure you have a lot of activities, and part of that would be the challenges at the same time opportunities. So so far, Miss Sharmaine, what do you think is the most challenging part in collaborating and working with and for American Corner Dumaguete?
I think, sir, the most challenging part is, first of all, the topic, or what activities are you going to make for that time or for that month, and then looking for the specific target, the audience, and I think the biggest challenge is inviting those audience. No, kay there are times nga, kisa may atong audience ani,
Yeah.
then how do we invite them? Wala pa man sila nag-reply. So those are the most like common problems now when conducting the activities. And then also I think kanang on the spot gani nga mga problems, challenges, like wala pa niabot ang salakyan,
Yeah, the
wala pa niabot ang
logistics, yeah.
speaker. So I think those are mga common challenges no during sa mga kanang when you conduct activities in the American Corner. But sa budget, of course wala tay problem kayo ana sa budgeting. So I think that's it lang sa mga common challenges.
And I think that also, contributes to your experience in community organizing, in events organizing, and many other things that you learn along the way. Okay, so I'd like to ask here, Sir Elmark, about your most favorite part of working with and for American Corner Dumaguete. Can you share to us perhaps special experiences or moments that you will never forget?
I think one of the most moments that I cannot forget is when we go to one of the hometown in Negros Oriental in Bindoy, which during the MLK, I think
MLK is
Martin Luther King Day of Service. Yes,
Okay.
Miss Ree.
Right.
And
This was in Bindoy.
yes,
Okay.
and we gave some books to children. Of course, this helped them.
A sort of therapy po.
A sort of therapy because of the
It was
because
after
of-
the
yeah,
Odette,
after the Odette.
the Typhoon Odette.
the type of
Yes, would you like to share more?
It was more like after the Typhoon Odette, so it was really devastating. So that program, the MLK programs, it's a way of like what you say? How do you say that? Rejuvenating, giving therapy, or giving smiles to our students, for especially since they have been a victim. One of the victim of the typhoon.
Bindoy. I remember
So,
Bindoy was badly hit.
Yeah, so I think you're the leader of that. It was Sir
Yes.
Joshua who was the brain of that activity as well. So
I remember that also. And I think I also enjoy, and of course, it was very, I would say, meaningful activity for
Yes.
American Corner Dumaguete. So, when it comes to the pandemic, since we are trying to recall of the activities that you have done in the past, I'm pretty sure that you also had your own share of, trying to thrive during the pandemic. So, how did you adjust with your operations? Because I would believe that there are restrictions, and I'm sure until now, if you are still observing these restrictions, but how did you manage to adjust with the pandemic?
The pandemic really brought a lot of challenges, especially in implementing our programs in the library, because we usually implement our programs in the American Corner.
Yeah.
So it's really face-to-face or in-person program and activities. But by the time of the pandemic, when the pandemic hit, we really shifted right away to virtual programmings. And fortunately, by that virtual programmings, we got an award from the U.S. Embassy as
Wow.
the first American Corner to shift to virtual programming.
Wow.
So I was very happy because our projects, all planned projects, all lined up activities for the fiscal year 2019-2020, they were all implemented despite of the pandemic.
Wow. So you will never affected in terms of the program implementation. So you really found ways to.
There were minimal problems like in the invitation of participants,
Yeah,
as
of
always,
course.
because we wanted to make sure that if we will have a MOOC camp, so that's gonna be 4 days, 3 days.
Yeah.
So we want to make sure that everyone has internet connection, everyone has gadgets, mga ingon anang abutang. So apart from that, we implemented the program successfully.
Okay. So, I'm pretty sure the American Corner also has to keep up with a lot of changes, no? Not only the pandemic, but right now, we understand that the physical building, the Silliman University main library, is undergoing some transformation, right? So, how are your operations also affected by these, and how do you get to adjust with this, I would say, temporary interruptions?
So for us, we really see first in terms of statistics,
Yeah.
Okay.
that
usage.
the usage was low, but not very low. But we have to adjust
So you're
because
saying there's a decline?
Yeah, a
yes,
decline.
yes. So what we have in our temporary location is a reading area for American Corner. And we also have the office for the American Corner where we place our board games, where students can still avail of the services and make use of our internet connections and our eLibrary USA database. So for big programs, we are very happy because our management, our vice president really promised that we will have our activities here in AVT or MPR. They really assure us that the all programs will be implemented despite of the location in the library, because for us it's not really conducive for events because it is open and then the space is small. So all programs are still implemented, Sir Josh, even if it's big program or
Yeah.
thematic programs.
That's
So-
good. No? So you guys really shows so much resilience when it comes to these kinds of temporary interruptions. We're just going to pause for a short break. But when we come back, let's talk about the interest of students nowadays when it comes to reading, because there's a lot of studies reporting that we have problems in terms of reading skills. No, sometimes there's also a connection when it comes to what we call the learning poverty. So, what are your ways at the SU Library and of course at the American Corner to engage students to read more, at the same time develop that love for reading? We'll be right back. Please stay with us.
What a wonderful words of Jesus, so reassuring for all of us that in the middle of the storm, He will be there for us.
Make us feel confident that help is available whenever we need it.
So take note that you guys should do different physical exercises.
We're hoping that in the following years, ma-appeal na ang uban nga strand kay dili magpili ang disaster of strand.
Guys, we are finally at the final stage of our DRRR activities. Can we give ourselves a round of applause?
We have now come to this day to culminate this semester-long endeavor.
The party's starting, it's going down. Let me show you what it's all about. Check it out. I'm gonna light it up. Yeah, I'm gonna light it up. Check it out. I'm gonna light it up. Yeah, I'm gonna light it up. Just check it out. I'm gonna light it up. Yeah, I'm gonna light it up. Let me show you what it's all about. Check it out.
In this tranquil haven, where acacia trees embrace the earth and dreams take flight, lies a hidden truth, awaiting its moment of reckoning. But nature's whispers grow louder, shaking the very foundation of this idyllic existence. Behold, the specter of the earthquake looms, a tempest of raw power. In a world where the ground beneath us can tremble at any moment, be ready. They strike without warning, leaving devastation in their wake. No one is chosen, no one is spared. We are all victims. In a heartbeat, lives are upturned, dreams are astray, and futures are left hanging in the balance. But amidst the chaos, a flicker of hope ignites.
are cleared. All victims are accounted for. All unit heads have reported. Thus, this simulation is now officially over.
Welcome back, and you're still watching #Silliman. Daghang salamat for staying with us. We're still joined by our friends from American Corner, Dumaguete. And before we took a short break, I actually asked you about how do you still persuade our students to develop that habit of reading, and of course, what are the gimmicks that you do?
So for us in the American Corner last April, we just had our English month celebration.
Okay.
And so we partnered with the DepEd in Sibulan. This is Sibulan National High School Balugo Extension. So it's far from the municipality of Sibulan.
Yeah.
So they are our partners for that thematic program, English month celebration, with our speaker, Dr. Warlito Katuray, where he had an interactive discussion. And so by this program, the students were really imparted with good knowledge in terms of reading and writing. And so this helps the students, especially high school students who have difficulty in terms of lifelong learning. The objective of that celebration was really impose lifelong learning to students in high school, specifically in Balugo National High School, in an extension of Sibulan National High School.
All right, I see. And I think that's also good, right? Because, of course, it's important that, because there's this saying that we learn to read and then we read to learn, right? Because after all, that's what lifelong learning is all about. We can never erase reading from the picture. And what are the current programs or activities that you are spearheading at the moment? Do you have perhaps our televiewers and our community can participate in these?
Yes, for this fiscal year, we have three big programs. One of that is MOOC Camp on creating and maintaining social enterprise. This is a very good MOOC Camp, Sir Josh, for the young leaders or volunteers who want to elevate their advocacies. This involves creating strategic plan for NGO, for civic leadership engagements. And we also have civil society certification workshop.
Wow.
This is about photography, videography, and journalism.
Okay.
So this will happen maybe in September, and the MOOC camp will be this coming August.
Ayun.
And lastly, we also have e-library sessions. This will be part of the information literacy program of the library, where the participants would be senior high school taking their research subjects, and also college students who are also taking their research subjects.
Okay, so there are a lot of things to look forward to, right?
Yes,
The
and
MOOC camps.
yes, the MOOC camps, the workshop, and then the e-library USA session. And aside from that, we continue with our thematic programs. This is a monthly program.
Ayun. So every month you are celebrating, or you're doing something for a certain
Sir
theme.
Josh.
So for instance, today we are still in the month of July.
We had our
4th of
4th of
July.
July.
4th of July. Yeah, happy 4th of July to all our American friends. And then what did you do during the 4th of July celebration?
It was a very meaningful celebration, Sir Joss, a successful, fun-filled celebration. We had this in a different location because we usually celebrate 4th of July in the American Corner.
Yes, here in the university.
Yes, inviting our American friends in the Silliman community and friends outside the Silliman community. But now we celebrated 4th of July in Mugna Gallery in Valencia, where we also invited the American community in partnership with the international office.
Students.
Yes, with Kuya Mong. And so we also invited a speaker, Sir Dan Brook, who who shared about environment, which is very timely because that is also a university's advocacy
Yes, of course.
on environment. And after that, we had a lunch party at the residence of Mr. and Mrs. Hobart. So they usually hold parties during 4th of July.
That's
So
nice.
everyone is invited, and this was somewhere in Sagbang, Valencia. This is very far.
We wish we were also invited so that we can join. But kidding aside, that's a very good way to celebrate 4th of July because
Yes.
after all, it's all about the partnerships, the people, and of course that spirit, of coming together to enjoy our freedom, so to speak, right? So you have a lot of activities that we are looking forward to happen. How can we know that these are already happening? Perhaps you have platforms that our televiewers can follow at the same time. Check later on if they wish to know more about American Corner Dumaguete.
For upcoming activities, we're inviting everyone to follow our Facebook page, American Corner Dumaguete.
Do you have also a website or like an email in case you have a question?
They can also reach us through email in askthelibrary@su.edu.ph. They can also check our website, sulibraryph.com, to know the resources and the recent activities and programs for the library and the American Corner.
All right. So on that note, thank you very much. But before I let you go, there's this last question I'd like to ask. What do you think is the contribution of American Corner Dumaguete to Silliman education? Because, of course, at the end of the day, what we're also trying to achieve is we want that the quality of service we give to our students also is improved through time. So what do you think is the contribution of American Corner in doing this?
Sir Josh, the very essence or the heart of AC or the American Corner is its commitment to providing public diplomacy programs which engage various local audiences. So we take pride in our community engagement because it helps us build relationships. It promotes collaboration and partnership between the Filipino and the American people. So that's one of our we are proud of as the American Corner team. And also, we take pride in how we support the young students with their advocacies, and I think you are a living testimony, Anna, sir, living legacy. So we have the AC facilitates for those student leaders, young leaders who wants to join the YSILI program. I think that's it for our contribution.
Okay, thank you, Ma'am Sharmaine. How about you, Sir Elmark?
I think the community engagement that the American Corner offers for everybody. That's it.
Okay, short but sweet. Okay. Ma'am Relyn?
For us, Sir Josh, it's not really that. The Silliman University library, specifically in American Corner, the biggest contribution, I think, to the university is we do not just serve the Silliman community, but also outside the Silliman community for free, regardless of race, religions, beliefs, and status in life.
I love that. Thank you very much, Sir Elmark, Ma'am Sharmaine, and of course, Ma'am Relyn, for taking the time to sit with us and have this meaningful conversation to showcase the programs, the different features of American Corner Dumaguete. And of course, after all, that is what Silliman University is all about. That is the extension of our doors and windows and of our house, of our home, is actually a testament of our faith in action. And I think that is just one of the things that we are truly thankful, grateful, and we appreciate so much about the university, right? On that note, daghang salamat for joining another episode of #Silliman. We hope to see you next week. To God be the glory. Hey there, Sillimanians and friends of Silliman around the world. Thank you very much for joining another episode of #Silliman. Please support our online platforms on Facebook. We have a Facebook page. It's called #Silliman. Don't forget to like, react, share your favorite episodes. We also have a YouTube channel. It's still called #Silliman. Don't forget to click the notification bell for you to be updated with our recent posts. And of course, we're airing every Monday night. That's 8 p.m. via Channel 6 Phil Products, and replays will be aired every Tuesday before the noontime news and Saturdays after the noontime news. On behalf of Ronelyn, Vailoces-No, this has been Joshua Soldivillo. Kita-kits next week only here on #Silliman.